good to be back with you again. Remember, we're talking about the church and ushering in the true church. The church that I believe that hasn't truly taken form yet. And I believe there's a lot of us out here who feel that way. And we're not talking about people or individuals. We're talking about the church. The church as God ordained it, as Jesus designed it, what He's truly coming back for. And I have a yearning inside of myself to see that. And I believe that that's godly. I believe that that's correct. And so that's what we're talking about, is where is that church? What's it going to take to bring that church about? And when we talk about this, I hear a lot of things that I remember saying myself and hearing said. And one of the things is that, you know, when we sit there and we talk about church and what's wrong with church, there's this thing that comes, this attack against that discussion. There becomes an attack against that conversation. Is that we're condemning the church, or we're coming down on the church. Now listen, the church is the individual called out by Jesus Christ. But when we talk about the church and the problems with the church, we're talking about the structure of the church, not the people that are in the church. That's not what we're attacking. But it's kind of funny how I can remember that we would talk about, and I would hear this a lot, and here's a story that's maybe relevant to it. Is that the minute that we begin to strive for or talk about what was wrong in the church and try to correct it or try to push for it or talk about the issue, then this story seemed to come up a lot. There was a man and he walked around looking for the perfect church, and finally one day a guy walked up to him and says, "Hey, listen, when you find that perfect church, it won't be perfect anymore because you're there." And we all laughed and thought that was really funny. But you know what? All of a sudden now that bothers me, because I believe that that's correct. I believe that we're supposed to be looking for the perfect church. Let me read you Ephesians 5 and verse 27. It says, "That He might present her to Himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that she should be holy and without blemish." Well, you know what? Jesus is looking for the perfect church. I think it's okay for us to look for the perfect church. So guys, I want to take you to Matthew 21, and I want to read to you a parable. And this is concerning the church. And listen to this. Matthew 21 and verse 33. "Hear another parable," Jesus says. "There was a certain landowner who planted a vineyard and set a hedge around it, dug a winepress in it, and built a tower. And he leased it to vine dressers and went into a far country. Now when vintage time drew near, he sent his servants to the vine dressers that they might receive its fruit. And the vine dressers took his servants, beat one, killed one, and stoned another. Again he sent other servants, more than the first, and they did likewise to them. Then the last of all he sent his son to them, saying, They will respect my son. But when the vine dressers saw the son, they said among themselves, This is the heir. Come, let us kill him and seize his inheritance. So they took him and cast him out of the vineyard and killed him. Therefore, when the owner of the vineyard comes, what will he do to those vine dressers?" So this is the response. "They said to him, He will destroy those wicked men miserably and lease his vineyard to other vine dressers who will render to him the fruits in their season." Jesus said to them, "Have you never read in the Scriptures, the stone which the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone? This was the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Therefore I say to you, the kingdom of God will be taken from you and given to a nation bearing the fruits of it. And whoever falls on this stone will be broken, but on whomever it falls, it will grind him to powder." Now when the chief priests and the Pharisees heard his parables, they perceived that he was speaking of them. Guys, I want you to know this, that when Jesus came, he held church leadership accountable for the position of the church. He held church leadership accountable for where the church was going. It's the same today. Jesus is not mad at the individual. He's not mad at the church as the whole body. But Jesus is calling out to the leadership of the church and saying, I'm holding you accountable for the position of the church. So guys, it's time for us to begin to look and strive for that church. The church that Jesus ordained to be. The church that Jesus is coming back for. All right, guys, that's it. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Have a great day.